Hello, good morning, everyone. Welcome to my Thursday morning's live stream, monthly live stream. So today's live stream is called monthly live stream. So as it might be, you might be aware, Hallo has offered discounts if you have got $1 in your account, and you can get 2 weeks free lesson from any of your favorite teacher. What you have to do is just visit the teacher's account and choose the suitable course that matches your time, and you can subscribe to the course. Remember, dear viewers, this opportunity is valid up to Christmas, so it's kind of Christmas offer. Okay, so what do you learn from the teacher? You might be also aware that we've got around 300 teachers who are qualified and who have got different kinds of techniques and strategies and different kinds of lessons, different kinds of classes through which anyone can learn many things. And always there is an opportunity to develop yourself to the next level. Okay, so once again, guys, our local time is 5:29. In a few seconds it will be 5:30. Okay, now it's 5:30. Our lesson has started and the time has started countdown. I'm sure you know this meaning, countdown. So countdown of the time means it starts from the last moment, last minute, and reversely it comes to the zero and class shuts down automatically. There is a famous song as well, final countdown of the band called Europe. Okay, so let's share to this lesson. The lesson is to this lesson is, if you remember, we discussed yesterday letter C. Okay, and also we gave some examples. Letter H is, many times it is silent, especially if there is H and O and N, like hour, and that is the unique, phonetics rule that letter H should be silent. Okay, and it is important for us to pronounce the word correctly. And very often, many of our learners always ask this question almost every day: how do you differentiate the British English and the American English?
Hour.
Okay, the answer is the first differentiation would be letter R, and letter T. So, what are the impacts of letter R and letter T in the British and American English? Okay, the impact is that in British English, in most of the cases where there is R in a word, we do not pronounce it. And because of the word, because of the sentence word structure and the short sound and the phonetics rule. So if you can notice that this word hour, H or H, both are correct. Hour, hour, and in phonetics wise, okay, the A should be silent, so it should be similar. A is our. Let me show you from the dictionary, then it will be easier for you. I'm sure you can see the screen. Hour, and there is no H in the phonetic sound. Okay. So once again, good morning everyone, and welcome to my live stream. Our local time is 5:34 Thursday morning, which is the UK time, and you're watching the live stream from the Essex County of England. So our first word is Hour, and you can see from the phonemes or the phonetic symbols there is no H in it. So now on, if you're listening to me silently, do not say H or H before hour. Okay, it is hour simply. Let me play the sound for you. It's British IPA at the beginning. Hour, 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 hour. And look at the American IPA. Hour. R must be pronounced. As I said, British English is always, I mention it, non-rhotic. So, which means we don't need to pronounce R most of the cases. If the R is in the middle at the end, we do not pronounce it. But if the R is at the beginning of a word or in between two vowel sounds, we must pronounce it. Okay, you can see from this example, period, there is R, and this R is in between E and I. Let me elaborate a little bit more so that you can understand. Okay, so if you can see the example, what does our mean? A period of 60 minutes. So why we are pronouncing letter R here? Because this R is in between two vowel sounds, which is E and I. And also, if your word starts with R, we must pronounce it. That is the rule number one. Where do we pronounce R? Rule number one, if the word starts with R or R, if you say it being poshy accent, we must pronounce it. Number two, if the R is in between two vowel sounds, if you can see the example like period, the exam lasted an hour and a half. There are 24 hours in a day. Now you can see in hours, I'm pronouncing R because there is S at the end. Okay, if there is S after the hour, after the R sound, then we have to pronounce it. Another rule. Okay, let me see. Hours. How do you pronounce it? Hours. Hours. Okay, similarly, verb. 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 We do not pronounce R. A word or phrase that describes an action. Okay. No. Hours. 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 Now, literally, the phonemes of hour, O-U-R, and H-U-R are the same. Now, let me show you if it is hour. Our father. Look, same phonetic symbol. So basically, there is no difference. O-U-R, which is determiner, the phoneme is hour. 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 Of, or belonging to us. Okay. So Javier, we need to be careful when you're pronouncing this. So H is silent. Let me copy. And do you know which are called determiner? I'll explain in a moment. Okay. Now let us compare these two sounds together. You can see that from the phonetic symbol, they are same. Hour, H-O-U-R, and hour, O-U-R, same. There is no difference at all. And hour, O-U-R, is called determiner. So what is determiner? Let us find out. So determiners are those words which we use in a grammar before a noun to show which particular example of that noun is referring to. Okay, so once again, determiner. Let me show you again. Though it seems to be difficult explanation, but like in grammar, a word that is used before a noun we call them determiner. Referring to, yeah. So our English teacher taught us about determiners, which identify which particular noun you're talking about. When I say your diary or this example, the determiner before each noun, the determiners before each noun show which one I mean in specifically. So determiners are those words which determine the relation of the subject, especially noun subject. And a great example would be this boy. Here, this is the determiner and boy is the noun. Okay, or your diary, etc. Okay, and there are a few other determiners like our, your, his, her, its, and also articles are called determiners a and the because they refer to the subject noun. So there are more determiners like some, each, all, these, this, one to all the numbers, other. Okay, let me move on a little bit further down. Okay, now, and also if word starts with H-O-N, H is silent there, like Oana, H-O-N-U-A, honor, honor. Okay, remember the spelling. H-O-N-O-U-A is the British spelling. Remember, dear viewers, this is one of the differences of writing of the British English and the American English. In British English, most of the cases, if there is OUR at the end, but in American spelling, the U is removed. So the honor becomes HONOUR becomes same as HONOR. And similar words like flavor and diva, there is no R, okay? No U, I mean to say. Flavor and diva. Rumor. Okay. Honor.
Endeavor.
So it is endeavor. Endeavor. What does endeavor mean? Endeavor is a verb, which means to try to do something, attempt, strive. Engineers are endeavoring to locate the source of the problem. Endeavor. Engineers are trying to endeavor to locate the source of the problem. So once again, endeavor.
Endeavor.
Endeavor. Okay. Next one is rumor.
Rumor.
Rumor. Okay. Rumor. An unofficial interesting story, a piece of news that might be true or invented. Okay. Next one is flavor. FL. Flavor.
Flavor.
Flavor. Then favor. If you remove the L,
Favor.
favor. Very often we listen to this type of sentence in English movies. Do me a favor. Okay. What does favor mean? Do you know the meaning? The support or approval of something or someone. The support or approval of something or someone. Then next one is honors degree, honorary, honorarium, honorable.
Honorable.
Honorable. Okay, remember this honorable spelling is American spelling. This is the British spelling. Honorable. How about honorary? Yes, that is the correct spelling. Honorary. Adjective.
Honorary.
She received an honorary doctorate degree from the University of Exeter in recognition of her work for the homeless people. Dear viewers, once again, you're watching the subscriber live stream, and if you'd like to join my classes or lessons, it's very easy. What you have to do is just visit this sign up button and click from there, and you'll be able to join me and talk to me. Remember that this is the Hello policy and guidelines. In order to join any teacher, you must subscribe to the teacher's specific lesson or class. And also, when you have subscribed to the specific lesson and class, you can join only in that specific time, no other time. Remember that it is the rule and policy here once again. And if you are watching for the first time, if you are joining for the first time, welcome. And I'm very happy that you have joined today, and you can watch it silently. But when you try to make a comment, it is not letting you because you're not my subscriber or not a student. It is going to the subscription page. So Hello has offer that started already, that if you have $1 in your account, you can subscribe to your favorite teacher for 2 weeks freely. So in 2 weeks, you are going to get 4 hourly lessons free. That is guaranteed. As you might be aware, we have got different kinds of teachers, different kinds of topics, different kinds of lessons. Their expertise are different. You can join any teacher, and this offer is only valid for one time, which means if you join a teacher for 2 weeks, you can't join again. Okay, and that's the rule and policy. If you have any questions or comments, though I know that you are not able to make comments here, maybe you can ask me later when I make a public live stream. Okay. um Let me see. I'm just trying to find out if there is anything more we need to discuss before I jump to the next part. And next one is honest. But look, uh, these are the exceptions. House. Okay. Even though there is HO, we must pronounce it here in this case house. Let me try to find out when HO is silent, so then it will be easier for you. Okay. Very often people also ask why H is silent like our and many other words. because these words came from foreign words. Like it's a Latin word for hora, Hora, it becomes silent. Okay. I'm trying to find out. Okay, that's a pronunciation studio. Let us listen to it. So let me give you this example where H must be pronounced like house, Houston, home, homaton, homogeneous, homo sapiens, homosexuality. So H is always silent in honor, our, honest, here, yeah, bagel and vehement. H is also silent in ghost, ghost, ghastly, aghast, gherkin, ghetto. Alright, so let me show you the pronunciation studio, which explains about it. Lots of British English speakers never pronounce H. Others pronounce it sometimes, but nobody pronounces it all the time. In other words, it's a gray area. So, what is H? When is it silent? Is the letter H or H? Oh, do you really need it honestly? I've heard both of them, H and H. If you're going to pronounce H, imagine you are streaming up a mirror and it's voiceless, fricative in the throat. It isn't made in the mouth or on the lip. Although now Harry has hairy hands.
If you're going to pronounce H, imagine you're steaming up a mirror. It's a voiceless fricative in the throat. It isn't made in the mouth or on the lips. All together now. Harry has hairy hands.
Harry has hairy hands.
Harry has hairy hands. Silent H. Um, let me let us listen to them.
H is always silent in honor, our, honest, air, vehicle, and vehement. You don't say it after G in ghost, ghastly, aghast, gherkin, and ghetto, or after R in rhinoceros, rhubarb, rhyme, and rhythm. It's normally silent after W. What? Which? Where? When? Why? But it's pronounced in who. Who'd have thought it? And we don't always say it after EX, which is either exhilarating or exhausting.
That's cool, guys. So H is always silent in honor, honest, yeah, bagel, bayman. You don't say it after G in ghost, ghastly, august, gherkin, gato, or after R in rhinoceros, rhubarb, rhyme, rhythm. It's normally silent after W, like what, which, where, when, why. But it is pronounced in who, would have thought it, and we don't always say it after X, which is either exhilarating or exhausting. And there is weak H.
The weak function words he, him, his, her, have, had, and has all tend to lose the H if the word doesn't appear at the beginning. So say H in
He's okay.
but not in is he really? Pronounce it in have you finished? But not in
You must have done.
Okay, let's play it and explain it one more time. The weak function words like he, him, his, her, have, had, and has all tend to lose the H if the word doesn't appear at the beginning. Which means that if these words are used at the beginning of the sentence, we must pronounce it correctly. But if it is in the middle of the sentence, it becomes weaker sound. We do not pronounce it, which means. Okay, let us listen to it one more time.
The weak function words he, him, his, her, have, had, and has all tend to lose the H if the word doesn't appear at the beginning. So say H in
He's okay.
but not in is he really? Pronounce
Is
it
he
in
really?
have you finished? But not in
You must have done.
All right, so let me explain it in a different way. He's okay. You can notice that here H is must, okay, and we have to pronounce it correctly. But is he really? When it is inside this word or sentence, in between two words or in middle of a sentence, it becomes weaker sound and we do not pronounce it. Is he really? He is okay. Is he really? Or have you finished the job? Oh, you must have done. I'm sure you have listened to the differences at the moment. Okay, and that is an important matter for us to understand how age works. Okay, that's really cool. Next one is H dropper. So what is H droppers?
Many British English speakers never ever say so they pronounce hill and ill identically. Ill. These speakers are known as H droppers, and it's a clear feature of most regional British accents. London included. Altogether now, airy has airy ends.
Airy as airy ends.
Wow, that's really cool. So what happens basically, many British English speakers never ever say yeah, ha or H. So they pronounce hill as ill and identically ill. Okay, these speakers are known as H droppers, and it's a clear feature of most regional British accents, like Cockney accent. Like Londoners never pronounce the H. So in London, included together, all know Harry as Harry ends. Let us listen to it one more time, guys.
Many British English speakers never ever say so they pronounce hill and ill identically. Ill. These speakers are known as H droppers, and it's a clear feature of most regional British accents. London included. Altogether now, airy has airy ends.
Airy as airy ends.
Harry has hairy hands. Wow. London included all together now. Harry has hairy hands. That's really pretty cool. Next one. If there is article A or N before H.
The rule goes that the article A is used before a consonant and an is used before a vowel. So with silent H we would say an honest, and with pronounced H we would say a hotel. But some posher speakers tend to treat a pronounced H as if it were not there. So they would say
An historic.
and.
An hotel.
H droppers tend to always use an. So Cockneys would say give us an and.
Shay's renting an ass.
That's really pretty cool. Especially they're explaining to the Cockney speakers, the London speakers. Dear viewers, you must be aware that in the United Kingdom there are more than 30 different kinds of accents or dialects, and Cockney is one of them where most of the people of London use and speak. But as a matter of fact, over the period of time, the speakers have decreased. It's around only 2 to 3% of all Londoners who can speak in this Cockney accent. Let us listen to this part one more time, and you'll be.
The rule goes that the article A is used before a consonant and an is used before a vowel. So with silent H we would say an honest, and with pronounced H we would say a hotel. But some posher speakers tend to treat a pronounced H as if it were not there. So they would say
An historic.
and.
An hotel.
H droppers tend to always use an. So Cockneys would say give us an and.
Shay's renting an ass.
So the Cockney people give us an and instead of hand. They'll say and she's renting a house. Okay, because the H is silent, this house becomes house and hand becomes and. That is the logical reason and explanation why some Cockney speakers use an. Okay, now H or H. I've heard both of them. Let's find out.
The pronunciation of the letter itself is unclear. Should it be H or H? The standard or correct version in GB is H, and this is the pronunciation the BBC recommends to its broadcasters as being
less likely to attract audience complaints.
The reality is that both pronunciations are commonly used, and some native speakers will switch between both.
That's right. You see, I always used to say H, but when I came to this country 17 years ago, I found that people also say H. You see, H and H, so both are correct. So pronunciation of the letter itself is unclear. Should it be H or H? The standard or correct version in Great British English, H, and this is the pronunciation the BBC recommends to its broadcaster as being less likely to attract audience complaints. So, which means then when you're not pronouncing the word correctly, and because BBC English is the most standard British English in a broadcaster, and they make complaints. So they don't want to listen to any complaints at all. So let us listen to it one more time, which will clarify.
The pronunciation of the letter itself is unclear. Should it be H or H? The standard or correct version in GB is H, and this is the pronunciation the BBC recommends to its broadcasters as being
less likely to attract audience complaints.
The reality is that both pronunciations are commonly used, and some native speakers will switch between both.
So the both are correct, and some native speaker will switch between both. Yeah, as I said, I used to pronounce H, but when I came to the UK, I heard H. Then I thought maybe my pronunciation was wrong, but it wasn't. So both are correct depending on the context, how people try to use it. Let's move on. TH, GH, SH, and PH. Oh, this is really an amazing part because some sounds are voiced and some sounds are unvoiced or non-voiced. And I'm sure once again, dear viewers, let me explain quickly. Voice sounds are those when we use our vocal cord, okay, throat. You'll feel the vibration of our throat, which means that these sounds or these words are pronounced through our vocal cord. And when other words which are not used, through the vocal cord, we call them unvoiced or non-voiced. In that cases, how do you pronounce it? We pronounce through the mouth, like lips or tongue, or by flowing the air like this. Okay, let's listen to it carefully.
The sound is always spelt with an H, but that's not the only time we see it in English. It combines with T to make the two dental fricatives in think and th in this. It combines with S to make sh in shame, posh, and fashion, and with C to make ch in chimney and watch. PH is normally pronounced like in phenomenal and elephant, but not in shepherd. Sometimes GH is also at the end of a syllable, enough, but it's more likely to be silent. Way, thigh, through, thorough, and borough. Oh, and let's not forget the p in hiccup.
Oh, I think the speaker is speaking a bit faster, so let's listen to it one more time.
The sound is always spelt with an H, but that's not the only time we see it in English. It combines with T to make the two dental fricatives in think and th in this. It combines with S to make sh in shame, posh, and fashion, and with C to make ch in chimney and watch. PH is normally pronounced like in phenomenal and elephant, but not in shepherd. Sometimes GH is also at the end of a syllable, enough, but it's more likely to be silent. Way, thigh, through, thorough, and borough. Oh, and let's not forget the p in hiccup.
Oh, that's cool, hiccup. So I think this is quite self-explanatory. Now, American versus British. Let us listen to it.
Some famous differences between GB English and its American counterpart involve H. In GB we have schedules with a sh, but in America they are
Schedules,
GB chefs like the H in herbs
whereas they prefer herbs.
across the pond.
Do you know the meaning across the pond? Across the pond is across the USA. Some famous differences, one more time.
Some famous differences between GB English and its American counterpart involve H. In GB we have schedules with a sh, but in America they are
Schedules,
GB chefs like the H in herbs
whereas they prefer herbs.
across the pond.
So herbs.
Herb, herb,
Okay, which means that we pronounce H before herb. The Americans do not pronounce it at all. It's herb. So this is another basic differences of the British and American English. Let's move on. Do we really need H? It's a very tricky question.
Most Latin-based languages have got rid of. You won't find one in Spanish, French, or Italian, to name a few, and there has been an ongoing debate for centuries as to whether we need the sound at all in English. When you consider words like hospital dropped their to hospital, then got it back again, and the fact it simply doesn't exist in most regional accents, you may wonder whether it's just a fashion accessory bandied around by elocutionists elusively seeking correctness.
Okay, let us listen to it one more time. That's really cool. That's why in many European languages or North American languages, we don't hear any A sound at all. Especially if the person's from France or Spain or Italian, they can't pronounce H.
Most Latin-based languages have got rid of. You won't find one in Spanish, French, or Italian, to name a few, and there has been an ongoing debate for centuries as to whether we need the sound at all in English. When you consider words like hospital dropped their to hospital, then got it back again, and the fact it simply doesn't exist in most regional accents, you may wonder whether it's just a fashion accessory bandied around by elocutionists elusively seeking correctness.
So what is elocutionist? Let us find this. Okay, elocution.
elocution,
The art of careful public speaking using clear pronunciation and good breathing to control the voice. So elocutor is the person who is a public speaker, who can pronounce the words clearly and who can control the sound. Okay, so it's related to the accent. Breathe. Great. Let me see if there's any more. That's really pretty cool. So there we are. As you can see, we have learned a lot of things today about the H sound. H and H both are correct. Where is the main letter C? Okay, so H is always silent in honor, our, honest, air, vehicle, and vehement. After G in ghost, ghastly, aghast, gherkin, and ghetto. O after R in rhinoceros, verb, rhyme, rhythm. And it's normally silent after what, which, when, whatever, whistle, will, overwhelmed. Okay, but horrible. Exhibition, exhibitor, exaggeration, hostage, host, hostile, hostility, whisk, whiskey, whisker. Okay, that's really cool. Let me see if there's any other rule for the H or not. Let me find out if there is H or not. So basically H has two sounds. One is ha or ha, another is that.
hen, e, n, e, n, e, n, hen,
Okay, let us find it. Okay, so basically H or H has two main sounds, and first one is that ha or ah. Okay,
hen, e, n, e, n, e, n, hen,
so ha ah an hen. Next one,
Helicopter. L E K O P T L E K O P T L E K O P T Helicopter.
helicopter. Yeah, thank you very much for the donation. That's so sweet and cool. So helicopter. Next one,
hedgehog,
hedgehog.
e, ch, o, g, e, ch, o, g, e, ch, o, g, hedgehog,
Hedgehog. That's cool. Thank you very much once again, Bia. Next one,
Beehive. B E I V. B E I V. B E I V. Beehive.
beehive. Next one. Here H sounds like Z.
exhausted, I, g, z, o, s, t, I, d, I, g, z, o, s, t, I, d, I, g, z, o, s, I, d, exhausted,
Exhausted. Remember that it's an adjective. Exhausted. Oh, I'm not exhausted today. Rather, I'm energetic. Next one.
Exhibitor. I G Z I B I T I G Z I B I T I G Z I B I T Exhibitor.
Exhibitor. I'm sure, dear listener, you must have observed there is no R sound because it is at the end of the word. And if you remember, according to British English, we do not pronounce the R if it's at the end of the word. So it's exhibitor. Next one.
exhaustive. I, g, z, or, s, t, I, v, I, g, z, or, s, t, I, v, I, g, z, or, s, t, I, v, exhaustive.
Exhaustive. Next one.
Exhort. I, g, z, o, t. I, g, z, o, t. I, g, z, o. Exhort.
Exhort. Let me find out the meaning. I'm not sure what does it mean. Exhort.
Exhort.
Exhort, to strongly encourage or try to persuade someone to do something. Okay, so if you're trying to explain something to someone and asking the person to do the homework or to study more, to work more, then you can say that you're trying to exhort the person. The government exhorted the prisoners not to riot. Or the teachers always exhort to the students to study more and to be successful.
Exhort.
Exhort. Okay, let me see if there is any more. There is no more. That's really cool, guys. So that is the letter A sound. Let me see if there's any C sound here so that we can pronounce. There is C sound. Okay. C, the first word C as a K sound, and that's in cactus.
Cactus. K, a, k, t, s, k, a, k, t, s, k, a, k, t, s. Cactus.
All right, this is how it is taught in England, guys. Cactus. Next one. Camp.
Camp. K, a, m, p, k, a, m, p, k, a, m, p. Camp.
Camp. Next one is picnic.
Picnic. P, I, k, m, I, k, p, I, k, m, I, k, p, I, k, m, I, k. Picnic.
Picnic. Next one is city.
City. S, I, t, E. S, I, t, E. Sit, E. City.
City. C-A-T-E. Next one is cinema.
Cinema. S, I, m, m, s, I, m, s, I, m, cinema.
Cinema. Oh, so there is sure sound. That's really cool. Next one is centipede.
Centipede. S, E, n, t, I, p, E, d. S, E, n, t, I, p, E, d. S, E, n, t, I, p, E, d. Centipede.
Centipede. Have you seen a centipede? I'm scared of it. Cylinder.
Cylinder. S, I, l, I, n, d. S, I, l, I, n, d. Cylinder.
Cylinder. Next one is ocean.
Ocean. O. Sh. N. O. Sh. N. O. Sh. N. Ocean.
Ocean. Crustacean.
Crustacean.
I'm sorry, crustacean.
S. T. A. Sh. N. K. R. S. T. A. Sh. N. K. R. S. T. A. N. Crustacean.
Crustacean. I need to pronounce it 5 times because I made a mistake. So this is the greatest rule, that if you make a mistake, just pronounce it 5 times to correct yourself. I remember when I was in school, I had spelling mistakes. My teacher always gave me punishment to write it 10 times. Even if I make mistakes among these 10 times, now I had to write it 50 times. Look at this kind of punishment because of crustacean. Crustacean. Oh, Elena, thank you very much for your donation. That's really cool. We don't have much time. Let us see how many can we do now.
Cello. Ch. E. L. O. Ch. E. L. O. Ch. E. L. O. Cello. Cello. Ch. E. L. O. Ch. E. L. O. Ch. E. L. O. Cello. Cello. Ch. E. L. O. Ch. E. L. O. Ch. E. L. O. Cello.
Okay, that's pretty cool, dear viewers. We've learned quite a few words correctly. Practice it. Remember, practice, practice, and practice. Thank you very much once again. See you later.